some of them even experience their period and they don't even know what it is. So, before you know it, they are pregnant and they did not even know anything about periods. So it became an issue, and we had some volunteers from the US who came and were teaching them about menstrual health, and they were also proposing that we could start doing cloth pads. Since maybe 600 francs was too difficult for the girls to get every month to buy pads, maybe we could do cloth pads and then give the girls so that it's washable. They wash it when they use it, and then they can dry it and then use it again. So that way they will never lack sanitary pads. And we were like, okay, how do we go about this? Then in 2017, an angel showed up from Belgium in the person of Philip. Philip Tosein is a social entrepreneur, and he had been visiting several countries and doing a lot of work for communities. His heart was really to help and empower vulnerable girls. So he's a social entrepreneur, and he wanted to, he asked me if I had some girls who were seamstresses, and I said, yes, I did. And then he came home to Cameroon and with another lady, and they taught the girls how to do the sanitary pads, and, got some of the material around here, and we started producing the washable sanitary pads, and we called it Papidio. And, since then, in 2019, in time of prayer as well, Nicole and I were like, okay, now we're producing this thing. How do we reach out to more girls with it? Because we started, the girls we were sharing it with, they really needed it, and more girls needed it. And again, it was creating employment, because now we could employ more girls. We started with one girl producing, then we had to get another girl to join. And then, at the moment, we have over 20 women who are producing the washable pads. And we wanted to know, how could we reach out to more girls to get this? Yes, we want to sell them, but again, the need is really there. And for the Restore Her Dignity project, it's a program, like Ayanka rightly said. It's not a project because it doesn't have an end. We see it as a program. It is a movement. It is a movement for women, because we want to see our communities transform, but we believe that the woman is pivotal. She is the core of it. And if she's having this central issue, it's something that we need to address. So when praying, we got the Restore Her Dignity project. And the Restore Her Dignity project really, we set a goal then. The idea was to reach out to, in restoring the dignity of at least 100,000 girls in Bolifamba and other communities. Then, at that point, we had the Northwest and the Southwest region going through this whole sociopolitical crisis. Women were moving from all over and seeking for places where they could find some safety. And it was a big issue. When they move, periods don't stop in crisis. COVID-19 also came, period does not stop in crisis. So it was a big thing. How do we reach out to more people with these supplies? So we launched the Restore Her Dignity project. And Nicole also runs the Magiano Foundation. And so in partnership with that, and then Rhino Cameroon, which is the social enterprise that actually produces the pads, with the Rema Foundation, we've been partnering and doing our best to reach out to communities. So until last year, early this year, when we started we launched another campaign, because within it, we have different campaigns. So we launched a campaign to reach out to girls, schoolgirls especially, because we have been working with young girls, and within the project, we've been sponsoring young girls to go back to school, because through the crisis, we also discovered most of them don't go to school, and they've not been going to school now for as at last year, they've not been going to school for about 3 years. So we had support from other people. The Mendem Foundation came in, and they were really, really support for the period poverty, and sponsored a lot of pads to go to young girls. And yeah, so we did that campaign in May. That was to commemorate the International Day of Menstrual Health, menstruation. So it's in May 28th. We did that, and we also did another conference, a mom and daughter outreach. So it was a time for us to help mothers to connect with their daughters, because we found that most of them cannot, so period poverty was just beyond them having pads. It was about their dignity, the stigma that goes with it. When they stain themselves, most of the girls finally can never answer another question in class because maybe they're ashamed to stand up. They're not sure what will happen. Maybe their uniform will be stained just because they don't have proper supplies to manage this part of their lives. And what happens in the end is that many of them stay home and they don't come to class because of that. So when we reached the schools, the demand was so much more than what we could supply at the time. So we have just been praying about it and saying, okay, how do we really resolve the problem? Number one, of education, of girls really understanding what is going on in their body. And then number two, having the supply, having access to products that they can use to manage themselves and then they don't leak. So Papilio is produced with waterproof material that prevents the girl. It's very comfortable. It is secure. It helps the girls to stay dry, throughout their period. So there's no risk of them staining themselves, and then they can stay in school as a result of that. And then they don't need to worry. It's sustainable as well because when they finish their period, they wash it and then they dry it and then they can use it again. But now we have the issue of how do we reach out to many more girls. So we want to reach out to 10,000 girls. We've set a very, very, very ambitious goal. We want to reach out to 10,000 girls. And for these 10,000 girls, we are hoping to reach them with 60,000 pads, because each girl, if a girl has 6 of these pads, it can take them through their period for at least 2 years. It's because they can wash it, use it, and then, and wash it again. So it is a dream that we have. And we know that we cannot do it by ourselves. We can't accomplish this by ourselves. And we are so grateful to Mendem Foundation. I mean, these are guys, but they've come into this thing with everything that they have, and they just want to push this mission. They just want to push this movement forward. So maybe Nicole will just take it from there and just share again what is really, our motivation. Because for us now, it's not just about giving girls pads. I think it's bigger than that, Nicole. It is not just about giving girls pads.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks and welcome everybody. Nicole, of course, and interestingly, I'm in communication, but I'm always in the background. I prefer being in the background. I work with Doris a lot, but she's in front and I like the back office. So yeah, and I think she has really given a really broad perspective of what we're talking and doing. Yeah, the most interesting thing is when we reached out to schools. I just remember one of the schools, that was a government technical school. We went there and we met hundreds of girls. And they were, because normally we are talking about the taboo, but when we talk with them, we could see that these things can be broken. There is something that we can do, because if we keep silent on these issues, nothing can be done to solve the problem, and we'll keep having broken communities. Like Doris said, it is beyond giving girls pads. It's far beyond giving girls pads. It's about just transforming society. Because a girl empowered, a girl who is able to stay in school, a girl who is able to be bold and confident about her womanhood, is a girl that is going to who is going to grow up to be a community leader, who is going to grow up to be a national leader, whose potential will not be stored inside. So those are the things that, really drive us, because we see these girls, like most of them that we met back in 2016 when we launched the Bolifama Transformation Project, and we met some of these girls. When you see them now and the transformation, it just encourages you to see that, they are treasures indeed. Yes, they're in school. You see that they're truly treasures in these communities that, we might just, if we don't take the time and the patience to really just bring them out and show them that there is more to them than their circumstances, and help them where they need be. you know, because what we want is, yes, we can give you pads, but when you think bigger than that, very soon you will not be the one, we will not be giving you pad, you will be giving to another person. And then that's how our society, we believe, our communities, we're going to change. Because if we keep looking, okay, we need help. Yes, Philip has come and given this training and all of that. How can we ourselves be able to reach out and not just give people bread, but teach them how to fish? You know, and that is why a big aspect of this is the leadership. We don't want to meet girls and just give them pads, because you know, before even coming out with the parts production, we were in the communities, we will give them rice and all of that, will come and meet them in the same situation, even more desperate than before. They're looking up, and it was more than that. And we say, no, yes, we can give you this, but if we don't give you the education alongside it, then we are not truly helping our people. And we are so excited, really excited. When we started all of this, I remember when we sat and we had the name Restore Her Dignity, it was from a place of prayer. We saw how great it was, but we did not know how it was going to come about. And it's so exciting to see so many people joining the train, and we just, there's no limit to what we can achieve together. Yes. So I'm so happy to have you people on board. Thanks so much.
Okay, Jude, maybe we'll just go through the slides. Can you just go to the next one? Okay, great. Yeah. So this, when we started the project, this was, I think, 2 years ago. We set a goal to reach 1,000 girls. But now, we have already reached out to those 1,000 girls and beyond, and that is why we're setting another goal now. Next one, please, Jude. Yeah. So, yeah, this was in May when we visited the communities, and we were able to reach out to more than 1,000 girls in May. And then we said, okay, we're going to set a goal now to provide this to 1,000 adolescent schoolgirls. And then, we also have written a book in the process, my first period, just so that we could provide solution to the education part, just helping young girls to understand how to go about their period, and also to help them with some basic leadership education so that they can be bold enough to become all that God has created them to be. And that is why we're saying that for us, we believe that this is beyond providing pads. Next, please, Jude. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, so period poverty has several ramifications. It is not just about having the girls don't have the money to buy the pads, but there's a lot of research that has gone into this. Plan International says 1 in 10 girls are unable to afford sanitary pads. 1 in 7 girls have to borrow. They have to use from a friend because they cannot afford it. But it's beyond that. Next slide, please, Jude. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so period poverty is beyond that. Apart from the access to finances, they also have issues of access to sanitary facilities. Most schools don't have an appropriate place where girls can change. So, they don't go to school, they drop out of school because of this. Even when they are wet, how do they change? Most of the toilets are horrible. They are not, the best site to look at. So the girls feel uncomfortable, and then they just stay in a place where it's comfortable. They stay home and don't go to school. They don't go to school during their periods. So Papidio also helps them to solve that problem, because they'll hardly get to that point and it's also comfortable in a way that it's compact. You can remove it, fold it, and then put it in your bag without being stained. And when you get home, you can wash it. We provide them with wet bags as well, so that when they remove it, they can put it in those bags and then get home and they change it. Next one, please. Okay. This is also a very, very big issue. A big issue is shame, the stigma, and the taboo is still a very taboo subject. Most girls, when they find themselves menstruating for the first time, when they have menarche, they don't even know how to communicate with their parents. They cannot tell them, because, how do you start discussing that with your mom and your dad? And they don't know what to say. And then they resort to maybe talking to male friends that they are close to, and then they end up finding themselves in vulnerable situations and compromises, which is something that if they could understand and get the information on time to know what's going to happen to their body, then, we can avoid such situations. The next one, please. Yep. So I think we've already talked about that. Improper menstrual health management facilities. Yeah. So what is our objective? What is our objective? We already talked about that. So let's just go to the next one. So what is the objective of this campaign between December and May 2022? What are we really hoping for? Now, on the 25th of November is going to be the International Day. It starts up 16 days of activism against violence against women. So we want to use this opportunity to really reach out and be advocates for change for this situation for women. So we want to use this opportunity to help to break the taboo and the stigma around menstruation. And we want to be able to normalize period conversations with adolescent girls and encourage mothers to have conversations with their daughters about the subject. We want to also be empowering girls to find their dreams without being held back. So, yes, menstruation, but then life continues. We, as an adolescent girl, you go through puberty, stuff happens, but guess what? I mean, it's just the beginning. You're just a woman, not just to give birth to babies, but these girls carry dreams that can transform communities. We're about building communities, and we believe that these girls have dreams that can change their communities. So we also want to address, to educate young girls on safe menstrual hygiene practices. How do you manage yourself during the period? So we also produce menstrual health bracelets. I have one of them in my hand, and that is an easy way for the girls to understand how to calculate how to manage their menstrual cycle so that they can make informed sexual decisions. Yes, I mean, as Christians, what we will promote is no sex before marriage, but hey, it's good to inform them so that they understand, and then they can make informed choices for themselves. Now, we also want to provide, which is the main thing anyway, providing 10,000 sanitary kits to which will include 60,000 pads to adolescent girls who cannot afford it, and also other products, sanitary products, to reduce the risk associated with them being exposed to abuse. Because, we've always looked at violence against women being like rape and things like that. But I mean, digging in, we understand that menstruation, not properly managing the woman's period, it's a very, very big thing. It can actually be a period. The period should not be the end of a sentence for a woman, but it should actually be the beginning of life for every young girl. But it takes education, right? So yeah, so that is really our goal, and we are hoping that between now, if we put forces together, we can be able to raise the funds for that. Next, Jude. Yeah. So how do you become an ambassador? And I mean, we're all here, which is the first thing. The first thing is now we have made the decision, and I just want to thank God for Ayanka for pushing this through. And, she's the first dignity ambassador, and I can see the young ambassador hanging around there. That's exciting. Yeah. So it's so great to have you, sweetheart. That's the first, Jama is the first young ambassador that is going to run with this course, and we are so proud of her. Okay, so, it's something we're encouraging that moms can do with their young girls as well, and dads can do with their sons. Interestingly, I mean, we have only sons. Nicole has 3, I have a son. So we're not leaving our sons behind. Definitely not. Definitely not. So, so Dignity Ambassadors, we believe that a team of advocates who desire to address period poverty. So it's open to women, boys, girls, organizations who want to support vulnerable and adolescent girls to experience periods with dignity. So we're going to be promoting the course to end period poverty in Africa, because interestingly, we've started production in Sierra Leone. I mean, this is only 4 years, but we are extending across African countries, and we're looking at possibilities of going to Uganda soon as well. So we are in Sierra Leone now. There's a young girl started the production house there, and Philip should be there with her in the next few days just to see how she's going. So it's extending. It's a movement indeed. We are going across Africa. And now, how do you do this? So a pack of one dignity pack costs 10,000 francs, and that includes washable sanitary pads, copy of my first period, and it's also accompanied with menstrual health and leadership education. So we're not just going to go dash them. We really believe in transformation. So we don't believe that we just go to communities. We don't do charity just to go give something. Now, sending us will be sending these girls confidence, sending them a platform where they can be empowered and equipped to lead, as we say that, the Restore Our Dignity project is about equipping girls to lead. So we want to be really create platforms where girls can be empowered to become the change in their communities. For now, we are organizing with, there is something going on in Mendanko at the end of this year. There's a coronation of the new chief or something. And so there's going to be a 3-day event, and we're already talking with them. They're inviting us, and we're going to be starting talking with their girls, having workshops with them, and and empowering those. And then we'll go back again when school resumes to visit the schools around there. And we're also looking at Fundong as well, to go there and look at all of those villages that are really hugely affected by the crisis, and see how we can be able to bring girls and restore hope in those communities. Yes, so
even girls in communities like Douala,
there are IDPs, a lot of IDPs in Douala.
Yeah, Bonaberi in particular, there are so many girls that, their situation is desperate. Most of them actually depend on transactional sex to carry out anything about their lives. So we need to be able to reach out to such girls.
Yeah. So this is what the pack is going to include: the pads, the bracelets, and then the book My First Period. So that's the pack. That's what we're looking to take to the girls in the community. So how do you get involved? So you can contact us. Ayanka is there. You can contact us and choose a comfortable goal for yourself. I think we've shared the goals above. You can choose a comfortable goal for yourself. Maybe you're going to be able to mobilize funds for 100 girls. You can mobilize funds for 1,000 girls, 2,000 girls. You choose a pack and then mobilize friends and family and see how we can do this. And then we're also going to be very, very active on social media throughout the 16 days of activism, which starts from the 25th of November. Yes. So that's where we're going to start, just so that we can start making more people to become aware of this and see how many more can join us. All right. So I think that's it. Yep, that's it. So, what are the activities? We're going to share stories about this period poverty on Facebook, and then we will choose a particular hashtag which we will share, then participate fully in the 16 days of activism, and against the gender-based violence. So a call to action is what? Educating other women, other people to become aware of this issue and to engage in it.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. This is a wonderful presentation, and I see Philip is on the line. Welcome, Philip. Thank you so much for coming in for this presentation. We really appreciate all the work that you've done to help us to get this far. I just wanted to plug in, the goal is we're going to send you the PowerPoint that was shared today is going to be shared with everyone who's been in this meeting. And I'm also going to create a YouTube video of this call to share with some of the invitees who were not able to make it today, but who are interested to hear about, what the conversation was and how it went. I think it's really, really important. There's also going to be, open conversation after this, right? We want your feedback on how we can engage you better. We have thoughts, right? But usually it takes a village to mobilize the base. And I volunteered my daughter here as a dignity ambassador because there's a lot I learned growing up through my relationship with my mom that made me not feel shy about the topic of a period, or even reaching out to others and educating them throughout my life. It was always a non-issue for me to give feedback to my friends about even, how to count their periods and how to know when to expect it throughout the month. It's also very important to engage the children in knowing that it's not all months you have to be all tensed up. There's a way you can, like you said, the bracelet, right? There's a way that you can study yourself. It's a period of studying yourself. Knowing yourself as a woman is very important. So that education is key to making them comfortable. And I see a lot of benefits in everything you've put through, the studying, the surveys, the leadership potential for these girls. It makes them socially engaged with a sense of pride, putting their head up high wherever they go. And you know how it's easy to shut us down when we feel like our dignity has not been preserved. You feel like your voice is not heard. You feel like you cannot speak up for yourself, and that's not what we want for these children. So I'm going to open it up for Q&A because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of questions out there. But before we get to the Q&A, I'd like to open up for Philip to say something, please.
Philip always likes to be in the background, trust me.
And one more thing before we go to Q&A, I also want to introduce Jude as a representative of Mendem Foundation. They've been doing a lot of work behind this movement already, and it just really fills my heart with joy that a group of men would support, as they should, women, because at the end of the day, your wife is a woman, your sister is a woman, your mom who had you is a woman. And what more, if men are involved, then they are the people that we probably are most ashamed of when we are in the society, and we don't know if they know what we experience, right? If you educate them, you take some of that stigma out as well. So I'm really happy Mendem are spearheading this, and that also means that because they are a non-for-profit, you can, whatever you're getting, whatever money you're raising through your ambassadorship, and paying through their foundation can be tax deducted. It can also be doubled, because if you plug in an organization in there, they would be able to double your donations. So I'll let Jude speak up. Jude.
Thank you, Ayanka, for that explanation. So,
louder.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
You're very low, Jude.
Hold up. Let me. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, so my name is Jude Jeff, for anyone who doesn't know me, and I am the chairman of the Mendem Foundation, and we learned about the period poverty through Doris, and it was almost like a no-brainer. It's like something you know should be a problem, but you never really thought about it until someone brings it to your attention. So it's really one of the big projects that we at the Mendem Foundation want to pursue and have been pursuing, and we are we're very glad that people are paying attention and people are willing to take it on and follow up the project. So pretty much Ayanka has brought in this process to get encourage more of us to be ambassadors, and we at the Mendem Foundation, we are going to be doing more of sorry. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second, please. Sorry about that. So we are the Mendham Foundation. We are just going to be like facilitators, making sure that our donations are going in, you know, to the right source, helping you to pursue this very noble cause, in helping those girls. And there's one line that Philip mentioned during one of our conversations when we were trying to think about what the title of the book or the pictures of the book should be. And he said, we want to preserve the dignity of the girl child, so we don't have to. Sorry about that. So we want to preserve it, so so we don't have to restore it, right? So you don't want to get to the point where it's damaged, then you're trying to do catch up and you're trying to do the restoration part. So if you can preserve it, that's get it right when it starts, then you don't have to be talking about restoring. We are in the topic of restoration because we have kids that have gone through trauma already in this process. But if we are catching it right from the get-go, then it's just a matter of preserving, and then you don't have to do any restoration. So we are really hoping that this will catch on. More and more people get involved, and it takes the ambassadors. And Bianca has really done a great job starting this process, and we are hoping that it spreads to more people, and we impact the same knowledge to our kids, and just have that movement continue to grow. So we will facilitate and participate as Mendham Foundation in this level, and we are always going to be willing at any point in time to help anywhere possible, because this is a very important project. It's very relatable. You can really see how it's going to change and transform lives, and we're looking forward working with Maurice and Ayanka and all the ambassadors to really change lives. So I'll just leave it at that, and maybe we can talk more depending on the questions that come up.
All right. I already see some hands raised. Buri, I saw your hand up. Is Buri around? Well, if you want to ask a question, just put your hand up and I'll unmute you, or unmute yourself, and just go ahead. It's open. It's an open. Oh, it was actually Bernard. Bernard, can you speak up, unmute yourself, and
Yeah, I think I should be unmuted. I think so.
okay. Hi, Bernard.
Yeah. So well, I just want to thank you all for the presentation, for all the work. I want to thank Doris especially for inviting me to come and join you guys to share this information that you have. I think it's a wonderful idea, and it's a wonderful movement, as you rightly said. I'm so excited about it right now. I learned a little bit about it, but I think I got a lot more information from this presentation, because it's really concise, and the objectives they're very precise. I'm so happy about it. I'm thinking about very many ways, but I think I'll be picking up that discussion with Doris gradually, as I already started. So you'll probably be hearing back from me with a bit more specifics as I try to figure out exactly where to intervene. I'll be discussing this with Doris in the background. So I just want to thank all of you. I live here in Canada. I've been in Canada for 12 years already. So there are few ideas. I don't want to come to the public with them until I'm really sure of the way they're going to work. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Doris. Thank you to all of you for thinking about this. A lot of people don't see this, a lot of people don't. It's not that they don't see it. They don't. They are not even aware. They don't even know. There are things that we just take for granted, and
Sure.
things that have having a lot of impact in our communities, in our society. But we just feel like it's another thing, and so to have that intuition, to have that that wisdom, to have that call, I say call from God, to think, to take things like this up, and things that you have a measurable impact. You can quantify. It's not some kind of abstract science that we do in the lab. So it's something that you can quantify. You can see the impact. To have that kind of an initiative, that kind of wisdom doesn't come easily. So, and I really want to thank God for giving you that for handing over that challenge to you. And honestly, I'm going to do my best to be sure that we push forward these ideas. And
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much. This is exactly the goal of a dignity ambassador. The voice is bigger. This movement is bigger than one person, and tapping into dignity ambassadors is going to make it bigger. Because I was telling Doris, when you send this to just your network, it's limiting. If you bring in dignity ambassadors, then it's like a web, right? This is why we're in a world where it's digitized, and you can expand by just bringing in people that they can tap into their own network. There are people that that I don't know, and when you open it up, the possibilities are just endless. And that's the way I see the role of a dignity ambassador. If I give you that money every time a project comes up, it's limited to what I have. But if I open it to many more people in my network, and they open it to their network, it's a ripple effect, right? You never know who knows who that can even bring a bigger sponsor into the table. So the way I see it is exactly what you're talking about. Start talking about your ideas on how you can bring this project in the light to other people that would even play a bigger role. And so I really appreciate you coming in and just embracing the whole idea. Thank you so much.
And Ayaka, if I can add something about the ambassador. So I think it really starts with the education, right, for the ambassador.
It is.
Because you can just listen to this and you just like, oh, this is like a no-brainer, like this is big. But then when you go and you try to speak to somebody and they start asking you certain questions, because we've had it in our circles. Like the last meeting we had a member who said he had some women challenge him and telling him that they don't think this is a hygienic way to go. So if you don't have that education, and he didn't have the answers to give them, so it starts for the ambassador. It starts with the education. That what is, when we talk about period poverty, what are we referring to? Are you just dumping money to get those pads? And again, when you use the word reusable pads, for example, people have that mindset that you're talking about using something and then just using it again. But when we talk about washable, then it kind of clears that barrier for that person, and that the whole idea is not just getting pads. It has the education that goes with it, and it's not only about girls. Boys are in the mix to get that done. So it's just those layers, and I think it's our role to make sure that education is, because I was clueless, right? When I had the idea the first time, I was sold in. I was like, this is great. But then speaking with Doris and going into listening to Philip and all the others, then you start seeing the different layers and knowing how to present that information to somebody. It's very important in order to get the results that you want.
Maybe we can talk about those Q&As that we've experienced, because you and I talked about this a few days ago, about the Q&As that you will experience when you're talking about this thing. And this today's presentation actually helped bring to light even how the kit is given. It's not just a bunch of pads, but it comes with you know, these papers that they would put it in, take it back home. If they use it, it comes with the idea of how to sanitize it and wash it later on. And so there's more layers to it than what it, you know, than just giving a bunch of parts to the kids. And so maybe we can talk about some of the questions that we have encountered in the process of launching, and of even communicating with other people about the whole idea, and we can start to help empower us here about those questions that you'd expect. I say probably the healthcare people are going to push back the most because they know about the health, you know.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that the president of Mendenham Foundation is Jeffrey, and he's a medical doctor. So I think he is in the best place to answer that question when you talk about the sanitary part and the health implications of it.
Of that. Yep. Yeah. So some of those aspects are things that you would definitely hear, especially from women, because you know they know what they know, and they just want to know how how hygienic is this process. So they are coming from a personal point of view in asking the questions that are relevant to them about the whole process. So when we talk about it, we can break it down a little more. It would help. So I think someone's hand is up. Ella, let me put you in. Yeah, Ella, go ahead and talk. You're not unmuted, so I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself.
Hi everybody. I just wanted
and welcome to Nyla. Nyla is a dignity ambassador as well.
Nye, come here. This was fantastic. Kudos to Doris and her partners. Kudos to Ayanka. I think I just wanted, you just touched on it when Jude mentioned that, you know, we need to be informed because we're going to have questions. I just touched on it, but I typed a question there saying maybe we need to compile, you know, frequently asked questions so that we are ahead of the curve and help educate ourselves when those questions come up, because they will. So you already addressed that, so I don't even want to repeat myself. I had typed it in the chat as well, but this is phenomenal. I think I was really joining to just listen and educate myself. And before I knew it, I was like, oh my God, there's so much we can potentially do here. And thankfully I was listening with Nyla too. And she has a bunch of questions that I now have to figure out. I mean, we've had the conversation, but this gives different side of things, you know. Kids here, it's easy for them to be what is not entitled, but things come easier for them. So now, you know, it opens up a world of them seeing things differently, and being curious and asking how to help. So great initiative. Let's go change the world, I guess.
Thank you.
Just to say that there is a brochure as well that really gives a lot of answers. I've just forwarded it to you, Jude. Maybe, I don't know, at some point you can just share it so that everyone sees that. And I will share that with everybody on this call so that we can just inform ourselves. Just a video, it tells you what it is, how it works, what it is made of. So it answers a lot of questions: how to wash it, how to store it, and how to preserve it.
I think Jeff, since we have Jeff on, Jeff can quickly give a perspective on that from the medical point, because I think the very first question people will have to go on the hygiene or the medical aspect of it. And I think Jeff had his hand up, right, Jeff?
Yeah, he does have his hand up. Yeah, Jeff, go ahead and take the mic.
Hello, good morning, wherever you are. And thank you for inviting me for today's event. Thanks, I for putting this together. Yeah, like Jude rightly said, last got a little bit of pushback from the sanitary aspect of it. And like we said, until you get involved with the whole project, you don't seem to, you think you understand, but there are a few challenges you might. One, the first stigma we get, most people think when you are having a period, most people think is the bleeding you are experiencing is something really bad or something of that sort. And from a medical standpoint, it is we can say there's some sterility to what is coming up. So it's not something that people should be afraid of. That's the first thing. I know people see blood, they're adverse to blood, and the first thing is to back up. And secondly, if you look at the construct of the pad, one, you have a waterproof layer, and then you have an inner component, the pad, which is an absorbent material, the line on the inner. So you can actually just extract that part, sterilize that part, and you can actually put it back on the outer covering, which is what people see from the outside. So I mean, it is designed in such a way extensive lens to sterilize germaphobe, or if you're just somebody that wants to do the regular, just like any other thing you can need, or if you cut yourself and there's blood on the dress, you can take it out and wash it. I mean, just that simple. And the fact provided together with the washing powder to ensure that I think that really covers the basis for that. And I know most people, when you look at it, if you're looking at it just from the standpoint of, okay, disposable, good, but these people don't have the means to afford disposable. I mean, we are coming in to fill a gap where there's such a great need. This is the best solution whatsoever. And also to attack to this is the same product, not only used locally. This is the same product endorsed by both the WHO and most international organizations, Plan International, that they are using worldwide in other places. And I think the whole green movement in the US is actually moving away from the disposable part to the washable part. I think there's a lot of new momentum during that work. I don't know if that answers the question.
It really does. And then there's the aspect of even going green, right? Because it's washable and reusable. I remember growing back home, there was no specific place where you could throw a disposable pad. We did it in the middle of the night when no one could see us. There was a stigma about even throwing pad. And so this takes away that aspect of it as well. When you think about it, I maybe Doris, another aspect that you can give us is, how are the girls taking this? How is their experience after using?
Yeah.
In fact, it is a relief to girls, because as most of us know, maybe some of us did not experience that, but our parents used to use towel. They'll cut their towels and then they use it for period. But the towel, there is a chance that it's going to leak and stain your pants. So basically, like Jeff was beautifully explaining, that is what this is about. It's actually 3 layers. So the top layer is our wrapper that our mamas used, our mothers used wrapper. It has been tested all over the world, and mamas have never had any rash on their body because they tied wrapper. So is the covering. Then within it, we have the microfiber. It's an absorbent microfiber. So it's like sponge. And it's designed specifically for this purpose because it easily lifts the blood. As soon as you put it in water, the blood lifts itself. It's like sponge, Imagine using a sponge, you put it in water, the blood lifts itself. And then you have the waterproof layer, the bag, which now is not like waterproof. It is, obviously it doesn't leak, but it has a very nice feel. to the body, which is comfortable to the woman. So it's designed like that. The outer part of it is nice cloth, and then the inner part of it is actually made in waterproof, but then breathable. It's breathable. And yeah, Philip is just indicating that it's Oikotex approved. Oikotex is the international body that actually approves menstrual health products. So it is approved. Now, in terms of the reaction of the girls are relieved because they've been using cloth. Some of them have been using grass. Really horrible. Yes, toilet tissue. And, you know, so you're always uncomfortable, always at the edge because you don't know when you get stained. But now with this waterproof layer, it preserves them, and they are confident, they are sure that no matter what, they will not leak. So most of the girls, their feedback is, you know, they've always been using cloth, and now they are happy that they have this. And then there's that security that it provides for them as well, knowing that whenever my period comes, and the way the pad is, they fold it in compact ways where you can always have it in your bag. Say your period surprises you anywhere, you pick it out, nobody will know what you're holding. You know, you just go to the bathroom and then you can sort yourself out. We had one very beautiful experience when we went to the government technical school in Morocco. And when we went there, we were sharing the pads. And then when we shared, we wanted to go to one of the classes, and one of the girls stopped us on the corridor and said, "Auntie, thank you very much. Because as I just went back to class, my period started and I used my pad." I mean, that warms your heart. No amount of money can buy that. Now I'm imagining this was break period. This child would have gone home because she didn't have pad. You know, but because we came and we gave her that she can put in her bag, and anytime when it comes at any point, she can handle her period. So that's some of the feedback that we're getting from the hospital.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Any other questions from our attendees?
Hey, Ayanka, this is Irene. Thank you guys for inviting me. I have a question, please.
Sure.
Yeah, I came in late, so this may be something you guys have talked about already, but I had a question. Is this coming to the girls at a cost, or are we just going to be donating to them?
It's a donation. It comes, we're pretty much doing the whole project to raise money to provide it for free.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the idea is for each girl to have 6, which should last them a 2-year period. So it's not just providing them pads that will last them a couple of months or 1 month, but that will actually last them quite a while. So it's trying to get something sustainable for them.
Yep, it's an education process, because you're meeting some girls who have already been involved in maybe transactional sex to provide for themselves. So you're also going to educate them on how to get out of those behaviors, and assuring them that you would be there to be the gap that they didn't have, in providing them a solution that is sustainable, and just giving them the dignity that they already had that they didn't know. That's pretty much the goal, and educating ourselves too, because a little bit of me was ashamed that I didn't even know about this. I grew up in a community where there is this kind of period poverty, and I was oblivious to the whole thing. And so I thought the first course of action is to educate others, because if I don't know, then there are a good number of people who don't know as well. And then start to plug in our children, because they are the future, and this is a movement that's not going to stop with us. When you start educating them as well, very young, then you're assuring that this is going to be handed off to somebody after this. When we look at big efforts like this, we cannot look just as us as a solution. We have to look beyond. So it's different layers to it, and I commend you for at least attending and listening. And I'm looking forward to everybody everybody's contribution and you know, empowering other people to join the movement and do something.
And if I can just add to that, so part of the whole idea is not just giving you the tools that you need to go and try to educate and raise funds, but we also will work on capturing the impact of what we're doing. And for anyone who knows Mendem Foundation, we are very keen on capturing the work and producing it back and giving it back to the donors so they are aware of the impact of what they're donating to. And we actually have a contract with Nicole's company. For those who don't know, Nicole has a media company and they do a lot of community work. So they do a lot of our production. So we're always encouraging donors or ambassadors. If you have an idea of some kind of media production, you know, little PSAs or campaign videos like the one we did for Nyla and others, we are all more than willing to help get you to get a little bit some little Sorry about that. I think I muted myself. Yeah, so we can help you produce, because we can talk about this, we can have the passion, you can put the money, but if we want it to grow, we need to be able to show what the impact of what we are working towards, and that's a very, very important piece. So if you have any ideas, if we have to work together, is it putting on specific T-shirts and everybody says a specific line, things like that we can easily share. You know how it is today with social media, 30 seconds, 1 minute, people are looking for things like that. We should really work towards getting those things out. And of course, we will, on our part, we will make sure that all the work is captured, you're able to see the result, and so the donors will also be able to see the results.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
Hey, Ayanka, sorry. Hi, this is
No,
Chantal. I joined late. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm driving, so there's some background
Yes, we can
noise.
hear you, Shan.
Okay, sorry. I don't know if this was already talked about, but this is just for me to understand. Where are these pads made? Where are they produced? Is it in the US?
That's a good question, Doris. there's layers to that answer.
Covered it already, so I hope I'm not making, I hope it wasn't discussed, and then if it was already discussed, then I can do this.
No, that's a good question.
That's
a good question. Yeah,
no one has asked that. So
okay, yeah, that's a very, very good question, and I think one of our last few slides we talk about that the beauty of this is you'll not just be helping girls have washable pads, but we will be having about 20 women empowered, especially 20 vulnerable women who are the ones producing the pads. They're produced locally here in mile 16, Bolifamba. And,
okay.
Yes, so they produced right here.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
no, that answer warms my heart. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yep,
I think
it's local empowerment.
Yeah. Exactly, employment. Employing people in the quartier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so today is Sunday, so they're not here. So I'm sure you can see the workshop. Just so that
we can.
Yeah, so this is where.
Yes, I can see it. Oh, okay, yes. Great. All right.
So this is the workshop. The girls are not at work today because it's Sunday, but we are in there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Doris.
So this is the absorbent layer that we're talking about. This is it's like tower, but it's actually microfiber. So it's like it's like sponge. So it easily just sucks the blood. And then we have a wrapper at the top of it. Then at the back of it, let me see if I can find one. Yeah, so we have this. This is a waterproof layer that is placed at the back. That's what holds the blood from flowing through. That's what holds the blood from flowing through. And then you have the opportunity to add an additional layer. As you can see, that's the papilio brand. So you can add an additional layer, and I'll go find it. You can add an additional layer here if the woman is flowing too much, just for. Okay, so this is the storeroom. This is where all the material from. We get this. We thank Philip for helping us with the supplies. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to find the top layer, the additional layer on top of it. So this has been cut, and there are some of them which are covered to the side, and you use it as an additional layer on top of the pad like this, just to supplement it.
Nice. See, I was going to ask about that, for whether, something like that has been thought about for different flows, because some people are very heavy and some people are lighter. So this is great.
Yeah. So when you are heavy, when you flow heavily, then we have that. Okay. Okay. So this is where the finishing is done. Here, those are packaged and they're ready to go. I was explaining about it being compact. So you see this is so small that when you have it, nobody knows.
It looks like a purse.
Yeah, exactly. So you have it, nobody knows where you're holding, and you can easily fold it back like this. When you use it now, you can fold it this other way. And then no matter what you do, the blood cannot flow through. Okay. It's not very straight, but it can be straighter than this. So no matter what you do, the blood cannot flow through. If you have this in your bag, it's secure until you get back home, and then you can steep it and you can wash it. Okay. So these are rows of the waterproof layer before it is actually cut.
Wonderful.
So, we have different colors. This one is a red one. So this is what it looks like in front, the waterproof layer. But then at the back, you see how nice the back looks. So it is smooth. It feels good on the woman's body. So this is the back. This is the back of it.
It's really well thought through.
Nice.
Really nice.
And just a word of encouragement for all ambassadors. It's when you have a vision, or you're a pace setter and things like this, it's a very lonely road that you walk, and so people shouldn't get discouraged if you're not pulling a big crowd off the bat. And the idea is it's touching one life at a time. You can, because I remember I sent out this link to almost every lady that I knew, down to putting
I just caught it just now. I get your point.
Yeah, and so you might say, okay, how come I only have a few? That's all it takes, and it's just those little drops that will grow. But it begins with you just being convinced with the mission, and not being swayed by crowd, or having that instant response or gratification from it. But I guarantee you that as you go along, you will pick people along the way, and that number will only multiply. At the end of the day, it's not about us, right? It's about the kids that really need the help, and any little thing that you do would definitely go a long way in changing those lives. So it might sound or look daunting at the beginning. You might not be getting the responses that you expect, but believe me, it's just the ground is swelling. It's just the beginning. It's only going to get bigger from here. Yeah.
Yep, and I'm sharing a picture of the team that works with Doris, with the sewing and everything. Philip just shared it on the chat, and I decided to put it up for everyone to see. So here are the heroes on the ground.
That's awesome.
That's right.
Awesome. Jude, just to piggyback of your Lonely Road statement, I just wanted to say that, like, Doris, just if you think about it, I'm sure when she started all of this, it was a very lonely path for her too.
Yep,
So
exactly.
just her story is enough to, inspire us to keep going. Because I'm looking at all of this and I'm like, oh my God, where have I been? But this started many years ago, and now it's a beautiful, beautiful story. So well done, Doris.
Yep, and Doris has been sharing these stories for years.
For years.
And we are all examples of, yep,
Yeah.
we've been saying it and commending, like, oh, this is great initiative. But like I said, you keep, when it's about action, your actions will speak so loudly that people will not be able to hear what you're saying. So when you keep doing actions, people will catch on at their own right time, and it will just continue to grow. Just not to give up and to keep pushing.
Okay. Yeah, there's another video we'll just share that. I don't know whether it's not complete yet, but I think it gives us a picture. We just share this video. Joe,
Okay.
You have.
Yeah, maybe after that video, then we can call it a successful Sunday. So yeah, go ahead and share, Jude.
Let me try to get the video up. All right, so did you stop sharing the slide, Ayanka?
Yes, I have.
All right, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to get my... All right, so I'm going to share my screen. All right, so this is the video.
No volume.
I think you need to share your volume with Zoom.
Oh, you guys don't hear? Hold on.
Yeah, you need to share the volume as well.
Let's see.
It's under the settings.
How do I get back to this? All right, let me stop sharing first, and then
I think share the video on top of the screen where you share the video. There would be a button there to share audio.
All right, let me do that. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, where's the video?
The video is right. Did I close? I think did I close it? No, I didn't. It's supposed to be here. All right, let me go to my audio settings. Is it here that you're talking about?
Looks like you're supposed to download it to do that.
Oh yeah, because I think I was playing it off of that. Okay, let me me close out of it. All right, so just give me a minute to download. Let me download the video so I can play it from my computer.
Okay, Anchor, you have it as well. So maybe if it's easier for you to share.
Okay.
All right, so I have it up. Do you see it?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But you
Click
don't
those
yet.
three. Click the three dots in the bottom there.
Maybe because I'm using. Hold on. Let me take off my headset. I might be using my headset, and that's why it's not so. Okay, let me know if you can hear me now. Let's see.
As well as many African.
Can you guys hear me?
Girls are struggling to stay in school due to period poverty.
Can you open the slide up now?
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Are you guys able to hear me? Are you hearing me?
Well, I'm hearing you. It was already playing and then you stopped it or something.
In my system. Are you guys able to hear me?
Well, I can hear you well, Jude. Can you hear us?
Yes. All right, let me try to share it again. And let me know if you can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay.
Open it up, yeah.
As many African communities, girls are struggling to stay in school due to period poverty. UNICEF studies show that up to 60% of girls often miss 6 days of classes a month for lack of menstrual sanitary pads. To address this issue of period poverty and other menstrual hygiene challenges faced by young African girls and women around the continent, Rhino Cameroon started the production of Papilio, a washable menstrual sanitary pad brand, which was launched first in the southwest region of Cameroon and has extended to 3 other African countries in the last 4 years. Rhino, in partnership with Royalty World, the Mapiano Foundation, and Rema Foundation, launched the Restore Her Dignity program that has been able to reach close to 15,000 adolescent girls directly and indirectly with menstrual health products and education. Through our visits to schools, seminars, and many outreaches, we realized that one of the major issues surrounding menstruation is that it remains a taboo subject. Most girls, even
Anyway, we'll complete that and then we'll still send it over. So technical issues, we've not been able to complete the video, but we should, and we'll forward it to everyone here.
It's looking like a really good, promising video. So I'm looking forward to you completing it. I think we're at the top of the hour. We've been at it for an hour, 20 minutes. Are there any outstanding questions we can answer for anyone? If not, we can close with a word of prayer. And, you know, our gratitude goes out to everyone who took time to attend, listen, and start to think about how they can make an impact to this movement.
Okay.
So I'll give it a minute to see if anyone has any questions, and then we'll go from the next thing.
I think we'll work on the timing, right, for the next one, because I had a bunch of responses from people who said it clashed with their Sunday service time.
Right, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's put our head down for a word of prayer. Thank you, Lord, for getting us together today, for the word that we've shared, for a movement that is bigger than ourselves, that is going to help preserve the dignity of children, your children, our sisters and children and brothers out there, that would, raise their status in the community, their social interaction with the world. There is no better way to give back than to give a net so that they can fish for themselves. There's no better way to empower a community than through a girl child. And we ask you to pour your Holy Spirit on us and let us move in ways that we did not even imagine. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
I just joined 2 minutes ago. I think whoever is on the call can see that I just joined. This is Asupta. Congratulations, ladies. I had mass attend that conflicted with this time, and I had to also clean after mass. So I'm glad to be here. Unfortunately, my daughter was not able to join because she said she couldn't join for some reason. I don't know why. But hopefully next week she'll be there, or you can reschedule for us to, get a time that is more appropriate for some of us who are not able to make it at this time. So thank you.
We definitely will, my dear.
Yeah,
We will, and we'll be sharing this. I'm going to convert this into a YouTube video that I'll personally send out to people who had already told me they'll attend, and maybe the time was not right. And we'll work on a better time for sure. Thank you so much for popping in.
Okay, thank you. I can't wait for the video. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you, Mama. So proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Camila. I see she just joined. Thank you, Chantal. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, Jude. Thank you. These guys, oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bernard, for coming. So grateful. Thank you. Thank you, Annie. Thank you so much. Love to Nyla. She's doing an amazing job. Just so grateful to God for her. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Wex. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We will be